Hello, it's Sammy here from Folk Roundabout, and February's pin-up is Eric Sharp, so I'm going to let him tell you more about himself. Hello, Eric.
Hi.
Hello. I really enjoyed your songs, by the way.
Oh, that's very nice.
Brilliant.
Thank you very much indeed.
Yeah. So I recorded both of them. So
Oh, that's great.
yeah,
Thank you.
superb. Okay, then. So let's have a look. So, how old were you when you got into music?
Oh, probably 6 or 7, I imagine. My mum and dad wanted me to take piano lessons, and I'm one of these people that went for lessons for years and never really took to it. I had tiny, tiny little hands, so I was never very good. But when I was 14, I discovered the guitar. So then things went on from there. I became really keen on it, so that's great.
That is superb. So, has your upbringing influenced your music style?
Well, I think so. My mum and dad would have loved, I think, to have had music lessons and didn't. So they were really, really keen on it. And also, I have a sister who's 2 years older, and we used to play music at home. So we would, we would get given the books from the musicals at the movies. So there's still bits of Mary Poppins, to my shame, that I can still sing the whole song, So, but my sister and I used to sing harmonies, and she's a better piano player than me, so that was nice.
Oh, that's brilliant. I grew up watching musicals. Gilbert and Sullivan, Mikado and HMS Pinafore, actually. So, how would you describe the music that you typically create?
The stuff I really like to do is the stuff that I write. I have quite a background in traditional stuff, and I could do a full night set with pure traditional songs. But I realised a little while back that I like to write. When I was a kid, I used to write poetry, and I won poetry prizes at school. And then in my early 20s, I decided the best way of getting poetry over to people is to put tunes to it. And then you don't have to adopt all the sort of the mannerisms and the style of performance poets who have to be very, very extrovert, I think. And it worked really well, but I had a long break. I wrote a few songs up to my 20s, and I kind of break for a long time, and then rediscovered it in retirement, really. But I had an early retirement, so I had lots of time. And I went to study music for a year at the folk degree course at Newcastle, but I was paying full fees, so it was just too expensive to carry on. And while I was there, I went to a talk by Beth Nielsen Chapman, who's a fabulous singer-songwriter, and I thought, this is what I want to do. I want to write stuff. So I've had songwriting lessons and workshops with lots of people, Boo Hewerdine and Darden Smith, Karen Polwart, Dave Wilson of Winter Wilson. I've been to every opportunity to go to learn from people. When I was in my 20s, I went to a workshop with Leon Rosselson, who was and is an interesting character, but he's very much his own stylist. So I've learned to develop my own style over time, and I like to base it on the principles of folk songs, but I don't rewrite things from the olden days. Mm-hmm. What I do is I write stuff which is set in today's world, because I think that's what the old songs were in their time. They were written about what was going on around people at the time, and trying to rewrite them, I think that's not the way to go. It's to write about stuff
Brilliant. So what's been your most rewarding experience as a musician?
This is terrible, because the worst thing you can do is name drop, really. But I remember when I was in my 20s and I was helping to run organise the Lancaster University Folk Club. And our last session, we booked Nick Jones, who was at the height of his fame and powers then. So I had the privilege of going on just before him, so that was great. So I sang a traditional song and then one of my songs, and then I came off the stage as he came on, and he just looked at me, smiled at me and said, great. I know you shouldn't take it too seriously. But I think when people who really do know what they're doing give you
Positive strokes, I'd say it's what we all need.
Well,
And encourages you to carry on, doesn't it?
and in the club this evening, somebody as she was leaving just said, "I liked your songs," and I thought that's enough. That's why I do it. You know, you don't make money from it, but when somebody says, just occasionally will say, "Oh, I recognise that." You know, I have a song about somebody who's been through hard times and lives on a canal boat. And I sang it when I used to live in Derby. I sang it at Willington, which is right by the canal. And this guy who was not a regular to the club and I'd never seen before came up to me at the end of the evening and said, "Thank you for singing that." And I thought, I don't know what your backstory is, but it does make it worth it. It makes it really nice to do.
So the last question will be sort of, what legacy do you hope to leave with your music?
Well, I mean, I've recorded stuff partly because I'd like to think my kids will listen to it. My son's a bit of a musician. He's very good, but he's very busy, has his other life. But and what he would like to learn from me is the traditional songs. So I've recorded a few of those to give to him. But if I can leave, in a sense, I would rather leave songs that tell stories than leave a book of poems. Because you have a book of poems on the shelf. So if people, still listen to the songs after I'm gone, which I hope they will, then that would be what anybody could hope for, isn't it? Really? And meanwhile, if they listen to the stuff while I'm still here,
It's always a bonus.
That's even better.
That's fab. Well, it's been lovely meeting, and I hope to see you again soon.
Yes,
really, I did enjoy your songs and a cracking voice as well. So
thank you. That's lovely.
It's been lovely meeting you.
I've really enjoyed singing tonight.
Well, please come back. It's a lovely club.
Thank you.
Okay. Take care. Bye bye.